Then I'll start by taking you guys back to 2018, the very starting of that year. I started my dual degree PhD at RMIT University and the University of Agder. I was supervised by Professor Anlor Mención and Professor Tor Helge Aas. The starting 6 months, I was based in the southern part of Norway at the University of Agder in Kristiansand, and I moved then to Melbourne, Australia. At that stage, I was still in the process of refining my research topic and objectives, and I stumbled upon the instrument of regulatory sandboxes, which at that time was very unfamiliar. Today, it's more commonly known. It is basically an incubation model that has been created by regulatory authorities to enable fintech startups in financial markets. So at mid-2018, I think the OpenInnoTrain project was in its final application stages and approval stages. And ever since it got accepted, I have been a contributing member of the project. And over the years of my PhD, I have been able to successfully contribute with cutting edge research papers and publications within the fintech package. Those publications specifically were talking about 3 empirical research papers and 1 review paper, were all published in top tier journals within the years of 2020 up until 2023, I think. And during the period of my PhD, as mentioned, I was a contributing member. I was not really involved in the other activities of the OpenInnoTrain project, but I was aware of the activities that were running during that period and got to know some of the other members of the projects and the work packages. Towards the end of my PhD, I was offered the opportunity to continue as a postdoctoral research fellow at RMIT Europe, based in Barcelona, which I gladly said yes to. And that enabled me not only to continue being part of the OpenInnoTrain project as a researcher, but also it enabled me now to become an active member, to get the opportunity to go to secondments or research visits across different institutions in Europe that were part of the project. And it also helped me to get access to, or to contribute to, the other activities, including being part of the OpenInnoTrain Summer Schools, which were running across different locations at that time or during that period. And it also helped me to, during the secondments, to access new opportunities for research and collaboration. So I would like to walk you through the secondments, which were a total of 12 months. So I was able to also make the most out of it. I mean, the secondments were capped at 12 months, and I was lucky enough to go into secondments for the whole period. So my first secondment was in Portugal at Inestec Porto, and there I was stationed for 2 months to begin with. I had a total of 3 months secondment, but I split it. The first period was 2 months long, and I did that in, I think it was January 2022. I started my secondment with a little bit of not knowing really what to expect from a secondment, how it's going to be, what will I make out of it, what kind of outputs will I be able to generate, and so forth. but slowly but surely I was able to interact with new colleagues that were basically seated around me, and hear a little bit about their research projects and activities that they run, and also be able to get access to local industry participants for my research project. So my first secondment actually was not within the area of fintech. It was within the area of clean tech, and I was entering this new research stream looking for opportunities to interact with local industry participants. And through an academic through my academic network, I was able to get access to one of the local companies that was interestingly working on oil recycling, cooking oil, and that was very unfamiliar for me. It was very new, interesting, a process that I got to know more about through a site visit. So I was invited to the actual company, and they showed me how they basically recycle the oil and the tanks that they use to do so, and a little bit about the problems that led them to actually be there in the first place, and how they're able to generate commercial benefits from it. And I was able to thereafter share this knowledge with my with academic researchers, and try to find opportunities as a case study, or view it as a case study, and try to incorporate it into future academic research papers. That was the first secondment. Moving from Portugal, I went to Finland. So from the very south of Europe to the very north of Europe. And at that time, it was still winter. I moved to Vasa, Finland. So during that visit, I was based at the University of Vasa. And there I had also similarly many opportunities to interact with both academia and the industry. And one of the interactions with a senior professor, not actually from Vasa University, but from Hanken School of Economics, led to also a collaborative effort to work on a research paper that we co-developed during that time, and we continued to work on for many months after that. In addition to that, there were many opportunities to also showcase and present OpenInnoTrain project in different avenues. And there were also opportunities to work with other junior colleagues at the university at that time. And I found those interactions to be very helpful and value-adding. My stay there was for 3 months. I moved thereafter back to Portugal for a month to be part of the OpenInnoTrain research or summer school, where I contributed to delivering it, both with co-hosting and presenting, holding some of the sessions there. As mentioned, that was for a short period of time, where the main focus was to support with the summer school events. I thereafter went to my last secondment, which was at the University of Agder, and that stay was mainly dedicated to the fintech work package. So I started with the fintech work package during my PhD, and I finished my postdoctoral research project also working on the fintech work package. And one of the main outputs from that stay was developing a research paper, which is ready to be resubmitted to one of the top tier journals. That paper was interestingly looking at the way to measure the effectiveness of regulatory sandboxes, something that we couldn't do at earlier stages because of the nature of the undeveloped nature of the research stream at that stage. And so we had many interactions with colleagues abroad, and we had one of the events that we participated in was with the international or the Arab Monetary Fund, where we showcased some of the early findings from the research project, which was interviewing stakeholders, regulators mainly from the Middle East and other countries in the world. In addition to that, as part of also being an ambassador for the OpenInnoTrain project, I hosted multiple information sessions about the project at two of the campuses for the University of Agder in Grimstad and Kristiansand. And I recall one of those events leading to one of the participants to go on a long secondment to RMIT Australia. So yeah, that's from the inception to the end of the postdoctoral research fellowship. I can maybe now reflect a little bit on some of the learnings and a little bit on how my career trajectory or how the project has helped my career trajectory. So some of the key learnings have been to gain not only better understanding of new areas of knowledge and enabling me to expand on my multidisciplinary background within the fintech and clean tech areas and the broader management area. But also the project helped me to improve my multicultural competences and enabled me to expand my network and also interact with new educational systems and universities. I mean, we can think that it's very similar everywhere, but I think each country might have differences, unique differences, and elements to the university, the research environment, to the industry also there. So it was very helpful for me to see all of those differences and to interact with different colleagues and to make new friends and to work on research projects with colleagues that I wouldn't have ever done so, because in-person interactions are completely different from online ones. They are important in establishing trust and finding a common or working towards a common goal and alignment. So this is brief about some of the learnings, and when it comes to career trajectories, I have been already building on a very diversified competence profile, and being able to continue traveling not only to Australia for my PhD and back to Norway, but thereafter to Spain, Portugal, Finland, were also very helpful in expanding the breadth and width of my competence profile and international exposure, and establishing new networks and learning about new cultures. And I believe all of those components collectively give me an edge that I can showcase to future employers, both in academia and in the industry. And I have benefited from that for my current position, where I am employed as a business analyst at Ericsson. Ericsson happens to be a very international company with more than 100,000 employees. It's a telecommunication giant, one of the very few in the world. And I think working in a very international workplace requires you to have as well a cultural background that is diverse and an international background, which I believe the project has significantly contributed to. With regard to open innovation, before my PhD, I didn't really have much knowledge about open innovation and what it really meant. But during the project and during my PhD, I got to understand what it really meant. And I actually, during the project, in parallel to the PhD and to later on being a postdoctoral research fellow, got the opportunity to work with a startup that is developing an open innovation platform that enables employees' mindset from being closed to sharing and sourcing knowledge to becoming more open for that. And so I started to understand the importance of sourcing knowledge, not only within smaller academic teams, but looking outside of those teams within academia, as well as outside academia in practice and everywhere, because good ideas might be found everywhere, and we just need to be open to hearing different perspectives and trying to understand whether new ideas can facilitate or solve existing problems in a better manner, or try to share our knowledge as well across academia, across different disciplines, breaking those silos and working in a more interfunctional manner, both within our academic community, but also across. And I believe today, working in an international company, we have many tools that facilitate exactly open innovation within the company, but there can be more done to actually source new ideas and value-adding knowledge from outside, particularly from academia. And so we need to bridge this knowledge gap, from both directions, from academia to the industry and from the industry to academia. And we can all benefit from that and add value, because knowledge, we have those, we have knowledge, and good ideas might be found in both academia and the industry. And lastly, I would like to thank and acknowledge the European Union's Horizon 2020 research program for providing me with this opportunity to be part of the OpenInnoTrain project, for enabling me to go on a total of 12 months of secondments, and which have collectively enabled me to personally develop, as well as enabled me to stay across different universities in different European countries, to learn about different practical challenges, to interact with different academic colleagues, and to generate knowledge outputs that hopefully can contribute positively to society. And of course, with that said, I would like to thank Professor Anne-Laure Mention for actually bringing me to this project, and for the opportunity to be part of the first two dual degree PhD agreements between RMIT University and the University of Agder. Thank you.